What if I told you the most powerful Mercedes cars weren't built by Mercedes at all, but by two fired engineers working out of a tiny garage, driven by revenge? Yeah, this isn't a movie plot. It's the true story of how two men turned their frustration into horsepower and ended up creating one of the most respected performance brands in the world. AMG. It's the mid-1960s. Inside Mercedes-Benz, two engineers, Hans Werner Aufrecht and Erhard Melcher, were obsessed with speed. They worked on the company's racing engines, building prototypes for the legendary 300 SE. But then, tragedy struck. After the 1965 Le Mans disaster, Mercedes decided to pull out of motorsport completely. Racing projects were shut down. Aufrecht and Melcher's work, gone overnight. And eventually, they were fired. But these two guys didn't take it quietly. Instead, they turned their frustration into a mission. In 1967, in a small garage in Bergstall, Germany, they started their own company. They called it AMG, short for Aufrecht, Melcher, and Groß Asbach, Groß Asbach being Aufrecht's hometown. Their goal? To take Mercedes cars, the same ones built for comfort, and turn them into monsters. This wasn't just tuning, it was rebellion. In 1971, AMG built something so ridiculous, even Mercedes engineers laughed at it. They took the big heavy Mercedes 300 SEL 6.3, a luxury sedan nicknamed the Land Yacht, and decided to turn it into a race car. The result? A massive, loud, fire-breathing beast painted bright red. They called it Die Rote Sau, the Red Pig. Everyone thought it was a joke, until race day. At the 24 Hours of Spa, this 4,000-pound monster roared past the competition, finishing second overall and first in its class against lightweight sports cars designed purely for racing. This ex-Mercedes Rebel sedan became the star of the track. That single race turned AMG from two guys in a garage into a legend. They had done what Mercedes itself wasn't willing to do, beat the world at its own game. Back in those early days, AMG didn't have assembly lines or automation. Every engine was hand-built by one person, start to finish. That's how the one-man, one-engine philosophy was born. It wasn't marketing, it was survival. One engineer, one engine, complete accountability. Even today, every AMG engine carries a small plaque with the builder's signature. It's a personal promise that what's under your hood isn't just a machine, it's craftsmanship. As AMG grew, their reputation caught Mercedes' attention. The company that once fired Aufrecht and Melcher now wanted to partner with them. In the early 1990s, Mercedes and AMG officially teamed up, releasing their first joint model, the C36 AMG. Then, in 1999, Daimler Chrysler bought a majority stake in AMG, and by 2005, AMG was fully owned by Mercedes-Benz. The rebels were now part of the empire, but here's what's fascinating. Instead of losing their edge, AMG's performance spirit only grew stronger. With access to Mercedes' global resources, AMG transformed from a tuner shop into a world-class performance division, designing their own cars like the SLS AMG and AMG GT, machines built from the ground up for speed. So here's the big question. If AMG is part of Mercedes now, what actually makes them different? Let's break it down. A regular Mercedes is built for luxury, smooth rides, quiet cabins, advanced tech. And AMG, though, that's Mercedes after chugging a double espresso and hitting the gym. Engines. AMG doesn't just take Mercedes engines and tweak them. Many AMGs have engines designed and hand-built in Affalterbach, Germany. They're reworked with stronger internals, bigger turbos, and unique tuning. Even if the displacement sounds similar, the heart inside is completely different. Drivetrain and suspension. AMG models often have upgraded gearboxes, faster shift maps, and Special 4 MATIC plus all-wheel drive systems that send more power to the rear for sharper handling, suspension, steering, brakes. Everything is retuned for performance. Those massive AMG brakes you see, they're not for show. They're designed to handle heat and speed that would melt regular components. Software. Underneath all the hardware magic is AMG's secret weapon, software. Drive modes, throttle mapping, traction control. It's all recalibrated to deliver raw emotion behind the wheel. Bottom line, Mercedes builds luxury cars. AMG builds emotional experiences. Let's talk about that sound. If you've ever heard an AMG startup, you know what I mean? That deep growl, the pops and bangs, it's addictive. That's not random. In Affalterbach, AMG literally has a sound engineering team, known internally as the Composers of Combustion. Their job? To make your car sound like a concert on wheels. Here's how it works. Most engines have turbochargers on the outside of the V-block. AMG places them inside the V, a setup called a hot V configuration. It shortens airflow paths, improves response, and creates that sharper, more immediate sound. They record and fine-tune these sounds in echo-free chambers, testing every frequency your engine produces. The exhaust itself is like a musical instrument. Valves open and close depending on driving mode, altering pitch and tone. And when you hear that crackle on downshifts, it's not an accident. The engine software deliberately injects unburned fuel into the hot exhaust to create that iconic bang. Even with strict noise regulations, AMG found a loophole. Some of that sound is now enhanced inside the cabin using the car's speakers, giving you that thrill without breaking the law. Controversial? Maybe, but undeniably brilliant. Owning an AMG is like joining a secret club. Real AMG owners know each other instantly, sometimes by sound alone. There's even an unspoken ritual called the AMG nod. When two AMG drivers pass each other, they give a subtle wave or nod. It's their version of a secret handshake, and just like any tribe, there are insiders and imposters. True AMGs have hand-built engines, big brakes, and that unmistakable sound. AMG line cars, on the other hand, just look sporty. Same badge, different story. It's like wearing a superhero costume without the powers. But now, AMG faces its biggest challenge yet. The electric future Mercedes-AMG is already working on e-performance hybrids and fully electric models like the AMG EQ series. They're experimenting with electric motors, F1-style hybrid systems, and even digital sound design to keep that emotional punch alive. The question is, can AMG keep its soul in a world without V8s? Their answer seems to be yes, by making electric performance just as thrilling. The sound might change, but the spirit of rebellion, precision, and emotion that started in that tiny garage back in 1967 will live on. So next time you see an AMG badge, remember, it's not just a fancy logo. It's a story of two fired engineers who refused to give up. A story of passion, revenge, and craftsmanship that turned a garage dream into a global legend, from a dusty workshop in Germany to the roar echoing down your street. That's AMG.